Let's talk about couples in the Bible. There are many love stories and happy marriages and blogs about celebrity couples. However, the least discussed successful marriage stories are from the Bible. The Bible contains life's greatest stories of love, forgiveness, and hope. From stories and devastation, sin, flaws to the recovery, the Bible is a life guide. We will be uncovering the stories of marriages in the Bible and reveal the mystery and the lesson of love and commitment to stand the test of time. Adam and Eve Ideal Companions. Adam and Eve are considered the first wedded couple. God's plan of meeting two people is a gift of love and commitment. However, their seemingly perfect love story was distorted to sin, beyond stereotypes and parodies. This story reveals God's original plan for human marriage and demonstrates how sin has distorted it. Genesis 2 verse 15 and 3 verse 13. Can you recognize both God's plan and sin's distortion in your marriage? Abraham and Sarah waiting together. Abraham is considered the father of nations in both Old and New Testaments. Sarah doubted God's promise of a son to her, and she devised a plan to have a surrogate child as her own through her maidservant Hagar. In due time, God fulfilled his promise and Sarah gave birth to Isaac. Sometimes life puts you and your spouse on hold, waiting for children, a job of home of your own, with the resolution of conflict with extended family members. How can you cultivate patience in marriage? Isaac and Rebekah, how God makes a match. Abraham didn't want his son Isaac to marry a Canaanite. He told his servant that the girl who gives water to him and to the camels will be Isaac's wife. Rebekah is an example of perfection and obedience. In this story, the Lord affirmed the relationship by making sure that kindness towards others is a primary focus to be bound to each other. This story highlights how God brings people together and affirms marriage partnerships in surprising and creative ways. How does God direct your insignificant relationships? Jacob and Rachel, love endures. Jacob and Rachel are example of love achieved with a 14-year battle. It was love at first sight. In this story, the deceit and sin are forgiven in the name of love. People make all sorts of mistakes in relationships: lies, favoritism, manipulation, even revenge. What mistakes have you made or experienced? How has love endured in spite of marital turmoil? Boaz and Ruth, faithfulness reward. Boaz and Ruth's marriage is an example of second chances for people who once lost their spouse. No matter what the past is, all is well in the eyes of love. God rewards faithfulness whether in one person or in whole nation. What rewards have you experienced because of your faithfulness in relationship? Elkanah and Hannah, dealing with disappointments. Hannah's tragedy and Elkanah's marriage is an example of patience and miracle. Elkanah has two wives, but Hannah is a barren. Peninnah would always undermine Hannah, but in the end, Hannah is able to conceive the greatest judge of Israel, Samuel. Instead of throwing Hannah out of the marriage, Elkanah would always comfort Hannah, and that showed love despite flaws and differences. This story shows how couples can help each other look to God during difficult seasons of life. How do you feel with disappointments? Would you handle it differently? David and Abigail, wise intervention. David is known of having many wives, but David's marriage to Abigail was special. She was the third wife. People in your life that God did not send to stay in it will serve its purpose as a lesson. In this story, Abigail intervened and prevented David from doing foolish things. She was indeed a wise woman, and one that God sent to David. This story of wisdom being brought to another person is God's way of providing guidance. When should you intervene in someone else's life, especially your husband or wife? Hosea and Gomer, unconditional love. Hosea's love story and marriage with Gomer is an example of forgiveness and compassion. In spite of sin and deceit, people can restore their relationship with God's love and guidance. This story takes you to the edge of what it means to love unconditionally. Have you been forgiven by your spouse? Can you forgive him or her? What holds you back? How can God lead you forward? King Xerxes and Queen Esther, courageous influence. Esther's marriage to King Xerxes is a miracle that saved Jewish people. The reflection of this story is to influence a man or a woman to be the best version of themselves. Like it or not, you influence the people around you, especially those closest to you. How can you be positive, godly influence to your spouse, and what might be the risks and rewards? Joseph and Mary. Marriage of Mary and Joseph is another example of forgiveness, acceptance, and true love. In patriarchal society, Joseph had every right to disown Mary for conceiving a son that is not his. However, he loves Mary more than his own pride and listens to the angel's warning. In this story, it reminded us that commitment, when lost through the good times and the bad times, love grows stronger. What does the Bible say about husbands and wives? Ephesians 5 verse 22 and 25, Wives, submit to your own husbands as to the Lord. In the same way, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up to her. When we have stronger marriages, we're likely to have stronger families, stronger churches, and stronger communities.